early, baby. Set it early. 180.
Listening to all Chiefed Up, the best damn Kansas City Chiefs podcast in the kingdom.
Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to another live podcast for that ass. Steve, Saturday night, we're tailgating
Saturday,
for nothing.
baby.
Tailgating for
Let's go.
nothing.
We can act like there's football going on this weekend. Hey, we're outside of the draft by only like 6 days, bro. 5
Right, maybe
days.
we're tailgating for the draft.
Maybe. Is that what we're doing?
Maybe. We tailgate before the tailgate, before the draft. Steve, I'm excited for the draft. Are you excited for the draft? I don't think Chiefs Kingdom in general is excited for the draft.
I am. I tell you what, I was super pumped for the draft. Like right after the Super Bowl, I'm like, I'm going to dig in, watch tape on all these guys, get to learn them, see who the Chiefs might like.
Yep.
And then, you know, about a week ago, I hit that draft wall where it was like, oh, the draft.
Yeah, well, it goes and goes and goes, right? And
yeah, dude.
I feel like you have to, because like we scout like maybe 300 people. I think the Chiefs, everybody would probably scout every single person. So they're probably up to 500 and 600. So they're doing double our work.
Yeah, but they have like a whole staff.
Exactly. They got a staff. We just have a group of idiots. But yeah, man, I have fun doing it. But yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes you just want to just get to it. Just get to it. Get to it. Get through it. I think it's going to be more fun talking about who we draft after.
Well, we are going to live stream the draft.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I didn't just say a particular part of the draft, Mike. What did I say? I said we're going to live stream the draft.
The entire draft. Night 1, night 2, and night 3. 7 rounds. Yikes.
Pray for us.
Yeah, we're going to need many of them.
Yeah, if you can.
Many of the prayers.
Just take a second. Hit that like button for us. Help us get this out to more people. Take a
man.
second to pray for us for live streaming the entire NFL draft. And also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't be afraid to get in the chat. We got good people here. So good to see everybody. Glad you could make it in. We're going to talk about the Chiefs a little bit. We're going to talk about the Chiefs a little.
The Chiefs. Steve, is there any day that goes by we don't talk about the Chiefs?
I don't think so, dude.
I don't either.
I wonder what it would be like to go an entire day without even like thinking about the Chiefs.
Can't fathom it. Can't fathom it. I don't even know if I want to do it. Let's be honest. You might
I don't
get
think
through
it's
like
possible.
You might get through like a few hours, and then at the end of the night, you're just laying there in bed, and you're like, I've got to scroll. I've got to look. What did Brett VEACH do at 10 p.m.?
We have to see. And that's what he would do, too, is he'd wait. He'd wait until you just got comfy for the night. And then he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to sign somebody. Get up and get to work.
Steve, what round of the draft are you looking forward to? A lot of people just like round 1, that's the big impact player. A lot of people like the late ones. They want to look at sleepers. They want to look at this, look at that. Is there any particular day 1, day 2, day 3 that you prefer?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like, first of all, you got to be excited about round 1. Obviously, it's round 1, and it's going to dictate how the rest of the draft is going to go.
Yes.
Right? Especially this year. But I've said before, Mike, I think that the Chiefs are in a position where they can kind of take best player available if they want. So it's really going to dictate how the draft goes. But I'm really excited, honestly, for day 2. I feel like the second, third round, that's when you're going to start seeing like kind of the nuts and bolts, right?
Right.
Like that's when you're going to see what's going on here.
Isn't that where teams, like good teams, are made? If you can hit round 2 through round 5, that's where you're going to get those solid, those special teamers that work themselves up to the roster, things like that. I think there's the one that contribute, and we'll see. It's always exciting. I think this is going to be a wild draft because I think a lot of people are thinking, this is the top 30, this is the top 40, 50, 60, 70. Once you get to that top 50, man, I'm telling you, I think it's going to vary so much from team to team that there may be guys going in the second and third rounds that people are like, I had a 6th round grade on that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like this draft more than any other feels weird.
I will tell you guys this. I know a lot of our viewers and, part of the ACU crew and stuff like to do mock drafts. They like to go on like PFF or whatever and do the mock draft simulator, which is fun. It's really cool, but you have to really like take it with a grain of salt. You got to put it in context. Their rankings kind of suck. Like, we could go there right now and do a 7-round mock draft and just absolutely slaughter it, because we're going to be getting players in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round that are probably going to go in the 3rd, some 2nd.
Yeah.
Like, their rankings are pretty rough. So got to be really careful about that. It's really hard even from us, Mike. We make our own rankings, and then we still try to do mock drafts and try to figure out who might take who, or who the Chiefs might take.
Right.
And it's tough to do. If you don't sit down and actually make like your legitimate rankings and you're just going off of someone else's, good luck, man. It's tough.
Yeah, considering PFF and everybody, like, everybody's got their own one. So I think PFF, the grades are done by Connor Rogers and Trevor Sikkim, I believe. Of course, you can go look at Mel Kiper grades. You can look at Daniel Jeremiah. You can look at Bucky Brooks, Dane Brugler, you name it. There's tons of them. I don't tend to want to look at them until I get to the very end of my board, because I do not want to be swayed by what Mel Kiper says. I don't want to be swayed by what, Dane Brugler puts out.
Right.
I don't like that, but I do once I see whatever. Or maybe I'm looking between a few guys and I'm like, are these guys, late 2nd picks? Or are these guys 4th round picks? Which one is it? Because sometimes it's hard to watch film. And so sometimes that's when I'll go to, like, say, Mel Kiper and be like, well, what does Mel Kiper think of this guy? And then I'll see Mel Kiper's got him in, like, late part of round 1, and I've got him in round 3, and I'm like, what?
Right.
And so then that makes me say, hey, maybe I need to go watch more. What am I missing?
Well, it's tough, like I said, because like Mel Kiper, he has a lot of ends, right? Like he has a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like,
that's
a lot of contacts. But at the same time, how wrong is he a lot of the time?
Yeah, he hated the Patrick Mahomes pick. I'm pretty sure he hated it. He was a big Deshaun
his
Watson.
Giant head almost explode.
Yeah, man. Remember when he almost fought the Colts front office that time when they said, who in the world's Mel Kiper? And then they just fought. And
to be completely fair to Mel Kiper about the Patrick Mahomes pick, I'm not saying that like everyone was mad about it, but if there's someone out there, like, I know there were a lot of people that did like Patrick Mahomes,
right?
And we liked that pick. We liked it when they made it, but I feel like 90% of Chiefs Kingdom did question it. Like, man, Deshaun Watson was on the board, because Deshaun Watson was an absolute beast in college. So I think it's normal to question that, but
especially with Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech, which is just a system quarterback school, and everybody else had just bombed flat on their face coming out of Texas Tech.
So to just be like completely, I 100% knew that was going to work out.
No,
you're probably full of it.
I honestly thought they were going, when they traded up for that. We had talked earlier in the day that day, and you said you had a feeling if they traded up, they were looking at Mahomes.
Yeah,
and I think Pop said the same thing. But I still, in the back of my mind, was like,
I think he argued it with me.
Was it?
I can't remember. I know we had a conversation right before the draft, because I was like, dude, everything I keep looking at, everything I keep hearing about, like, low key, they're going to try to trade up to get this Mahomes kid. And
I just kept feeling like maybe, I was feeling like maybe that was a smokescreen to try to get to Deshaun Watson. Boy, am I glad they didn't get Deshaun Watson, though.
Right.
And
what a nightmare that would have been.
Well, that goes to another element of this. We can scout players, we can watch film, we can do everything, but look, we don't have any privyness to their medicals. We don't know anything about what goes on in the meeting rooms. We don't know how smart they are when it comes to sitting down.
Yeah.
We don't have character. We're not talking to their grade school teachers like Brett Veach and them do. And that's just another element. So it's wild, man. But speaking of elements in the draft, let's jump into the first story of the night, Steve. Thanks, Cole, for watching, man. Best podcast on YouTube. Y'all are great. Keep it up. Appreciate you, brother. First story of the night, and I'll just bring it up here on the screen. It's a wild one, man. Steve, I feel like you got a little vindication out of this, right? Chiefs GM Brett Veach admits that he regrets passing on wide receiver DK Metcalf in the 2019 draft. So he said DK Metcalf might be a guy that stands out just because of the limited pass tree. I think there were just some injury concerns, Veach told Harvick in the interview. He said, and sometimes I think you learn through the process, especially with these injuries. And I'm fortunate that we have a great training staff and Rick Burkholder, our trainer. We've been together for a long time. Our relationship was different when I scout as an opposed to a GM, and just understanding and learning that terminology. But I think sometimes getting clarification on injury status and the likelihood of someone making the contract. I don't know what he's talking about there. But basically he's saying
getting to the end of the contract, basically.
Right. So basically he's saying, look, he kind of passed on DK. He kind of let some medicals get in the way and some injury concerns. And he says, sometimes you don't take guys, and fans do the mock drafts and they go through it and they're like, well, we should have taken this guy or that guy. But at the time, a player could have been off your board because you had character concerns or an injury concern, says VEACH. And so I think looking back at DK, there were areas that we weren't sure on, but there were none that should have prompted us to bypass him. And I think that's one player that sticks out. So I don't know why he wrote, I think. Apparently Brett VEACH very much thinks.
I'll tell you what Brett VEACH is saying right here, Mike. He's saying that digging too deep and overthinking things,
overanalyzing,
and not doing, like, dude, it was absolutely glaringly obvious that you should have taken DK Metcalf if you were going to go receiver right there.
Steve, lots of Chiefs Kingdom still fight this to this day and say, well, Mecole Hardman's not as bad as everybody makes him out to be. We've still won championships.
Am I not? If I'm not mistaken, dude,
people will argue with Brett VEACH over the fact.
Oh, they really would. But correct me if I'm wrong here. Did they draft 2 players before DK? Was that the year that Juan Thornhill went before, or am I wrong?
No, I think DK went at the very end of the second round. We traded up for Mecole Hardman.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look at that, because for some reason in my head, I'm sitting there thinking they took 2 players over him. Like, which is wild. But that just goes to show you, man, if they have them off their board.
Yeah, that was in 2019. So check this out. There were only 2 first-round wide receivers in 2019. Can you guess them?
I don't remember, dude.
Marquise Hollywood Brown, who is on the roster right now, went number 25. And then number 32, the Patriots took N'Keal Harry. So look, I'll say Marquise Brown was a hit.
Pick.
He was a hit, I guess, in a sense of he didn't get like big money this time, and the Chiefs got him on a prove-it deal. So I think necessarily it's his QBs and the offenses he was. So I'll say it was a hit. N'Keal Harry was a bust. Well, look, in the second round, you had pick 36 was Debo. That was a hit. The very next wide receiver off the board was A.J. Brown. That was a hit. And then we traded up for Mecole Hardman at 56. I think that's a miss. I'm sorry. Chief fans will argue with me and say, well, he's not that bad. He's not a hit. If you look at the draft and what you consider a hit or I don't necessarily say it's a bust, but if you go in the hit or bust category, he goes to the bust. I'm sorry. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was picked next. That's a bust. Paris Campbell was picked next. That's a bust. Andy Isabella was picked next. That's a bust. And then DK Metcalf went 64th in the second round. Hit. Isn't that wild? Did we not
take Juan Thornhill at 63 in that draft? Am I wrong?
It's possible. I don't have the whole draft.
Somebody tell me in the chat, man. I'm really thinking that. But while you're looking,
well, they're not gonna.
While you're looking, we got a 5-bomb from our boy Ron. Appreciate you, Ron. He says, I thought they were grabbing Reuben Foster in the first and not Patrick. Boy, was I wrong, because he was out of the league 2 years later. It's crazy how that happens, isn't it, Ron?
Reuben, round 2, pick 31. We took Juan Thornhill. So that would have been pick number 63. Yeah, that would be 63.
That's the pick before him.
Yes. But you're not taking Mecole Hardman and DK Metcalf, are you? I mean, that would have been pretty sweet.
It's just wild that they traded up.
Yeah, to take.
Yeah, dude,
you could have I would have been more fine with it if you'd have traded up for Thornhill and took. Dude, hey, hindsight's always 20/20. But I appreciate you, Ron. Is it? With the 5-bomb there, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate the 5. Oh, speaking of hindsight, Brad's saying a lot of teams pass on DK mainly because of the limited route tree and injury concern. It is hindsight. Is it really though? When I'm sitting there as a guy that just sits on the couch and watches stuff, and I can be like, dude, this is pretty obvious. This guy right here is going to be a weapon in the league.
Right. Brett VEACH said that.
Right. Is that really hindsight when you're saying it, when it's happening?
Right. He said that DK should have been picked, but they overlooked. Yeah. They let medicals get in the way, right? So they
overthought that pick. They overthought it.
Yeah, you overthink it. Isn't that what happens though? This is what we just said. This draft process is so long. I'm starting to nitpick players that I've got in round 5, and I'm like, are they going to get to round 3? Like what's happening? And then you start hearing all these. You get 2 things. Teams start like pumping up players, And then teams start blowing smoke on certain players, trying to like get them to fall down the boards. So then you don't even know what to do.
Covington's Ghost says Mecole Hardman has 3 rings. So does the worst player on the 90s Bulls. Think about that.
So does the worst. So does James Winchester, by the way, who just snaps punts.
Not to mention, Mecole Hardman actually actively tried to lose us the game in the AFC Championship game by fumbling the ball.
Steve, he caught the touchdown in the Super Bowl to win.
I'm just saying.
Not saying that any other player on the team couldn't have ran that route and made that catch.
No, this is a cool look, though. I like this story, not because I feel vindicated, like you said, or anything like that. But I think it's a cool story because it gives you a good look at like these NFL GMs, what they go through, what they're looking at, and why they make the wrong decisions sometimes. Because if you're just going by worst Brett Veach draft pick, I hate Mecole Hardman pick. Absolutely hate it. But I think the worst one by far was Breland Speaks.
Well, we're not the only ones that people will fight and argue that with and talk about how Mecole Hardman has 3 championships and it wasn't that bad and blah, blah, and hindsight and this and that and everything. They do that. They will argue with everybody. We just seen the other day that, who was the other one that we just seen where they were like, dude, I feel so vindicated because people have argued with us for years and years. Starcade Media, I think, was one of them. Every one of them. We've talked about this. Chiefs fans will just, everybody that's in like a talking head kind of thing, that just takes the chance and says, look, we'll go out here and we'll put ourselves out here and we'll talk football. And then everybody just nails you.
The pitchforks.
Yeah, they'll put that pitchfork out there and they'll just keep going at you. So like I said, I don't care if Brett Veach started a podcast tomorrow. People would argue with him. Absolutely. They'd be like, Brett, you didn't miss on Mecole Hardman. You won 3 championships with Mecole Hardman.
I agree with you.
It's 100%. Crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Angry
Drunken German says, what did I miss? Veach's regret was passing on DK Metcalf for Mecole Hardman. I think that's everyone's regret, right?
Yeah, it's his regret. This is the story. Veach admits he regrets passing on DK Metcalf. But look, we've got another story, by the way, with Brett Veach. Let's share this one. Let's go through this one really quick. A to Z, Charles Goodman, our boy over there doing the Lord's work over at A to Z Sports, telling us a little bit about what Brett Veach said in his press conference the other day. He says that John Dorsey might disapprove of his unique draft board. So the funny thing is, he has come out, and John Dorsey was not known to put a lot of names on his draft board. Brett Veach comes out and says that I think there are 16 to 18 guys this year that we have first-round grades on. Steve, just saying, somebody asked us that question the other day and said, how many first-rounders do you guys think are in this draft? And I said, pretty sure like 16, 17, 18, somewhere in that range.
I guessed about 15, so I undershot it a little bit.
You undershot it. I had about 17, I think. So I was right in the wheelhouse, which I don't think it's rocket science to see who's got that first-round grade and who don't. But just like Brett Veach is going to go on to say, there are 32 picks in the first round. So after pick number 17 or 18, depending, if all the people before you pick those exact 16 to 18 guys and they don't have any misses in their scouting department, you're picking from second-round talent from pick, 19 on. So when people say, hey, is Felix a bust? Well, maybe. Was Clyde a bust in the first round? Yes, it was technically a first-round pick. But he's saying that he was valued as a second rounder.
Yeah, Kevin Capel says his worst pick by far is super bust CEH, and they re-signed him. I can't get on board with that one because CEH has contributed. What did Breland Speaks do?
Right. CEH had a good first season. He's kind of been he kind of got hit by the injury bug a little bit.
Run, like in little small segments.
Dude, and then he looked pretty good this year when given limited.
Right.
And this year he finally looked a little healthy, and they re-signed him because...
Was he worth a first-round pick? Absolutely freaking not.
Look, 100%. When everybody was horned up rock hard over J.K. Dobbins coming in that day, and I just couldn't get on board with it because this guy is the ultimate every 5 seconds he's injured. He's like the Kadarius Toney on crack at the running back position. But I was like, why are they just not re-signing Clyde? Because it's going to be limited amount of work they're going to be asked to do anyway. You think Clyde, though, do you think he gets to do some of the Jerick McKinnon role this year? You think they just move him out to a third down back? Because he showed he can catch the ball really well.
Well, that's what Clyde did in college, bro.
Right, so isn't it just...
It was Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all those cats. He was on the same team.
Right.
Like, he caught the ball out of the backfield. I thought that's why they were bringing him in here, and then they just never really used him that much. But, like, I think he can do that role. I do. Obviously, I think that Jerick McKinnon's probably a little bit better at picking up blitzes and things like that. But Clyde's not bad at it.
No.
But, yeah, for how much they actually had to pay Clyde to be here, I think he's a fine change of pace bag.
Right.
But don't let that fool you. The Chiefs could still very much draft a running back.
Yeah, I think so too. Back to the article, Veach said, getting back to his big board, he said he's got 221 names on the big board, Steve. So he said that John Dorsey wouldn't like that. Too many names on the big board, but he's got 221. And he says what he does is he uses that to, once it gets to UDFAs, he can now go down the list and be like, hey, number 157 hasn't been picked. I'm contacting him, bringing him in. Khalif Hallisey, we seen that last year. We knew he was a guy they were looking at, and then boom, it was reported he was going to the Jets, and we were like, man, it's kind of weird. Brett Veach didn't reach out to him. That was a big guy, and then lo and behold, here he came. I don't think that's groundbreaking. I think anybody should do a board like that. I think John Dorsey was kind of stupid.
Well,
in that
here's
regard,
the thing.
If that's the case,
John Dorsey wasn't a bad guy, like a bad GM for drafting. And
no, he
getting
had some
talent.
pretty good draft picks.
He sucks at managing a salary cap. I'll say that. He'll put you in salary cap hell. I mean, look what he's doing to the Browns. Is he still at the Browns?
No, I don't think so.
It wouldn't surprise me with the contract they just gave Jerry Jeudy.
They got rid of that bad boy.
Did they? You have to go check that out. But anyway, we saw what he did with the Browns, though.
No, they got Andrew Berry as their GM.
He did it to the Chiefs. That's what he does. But as far as like draft talent, he wasn't bad. Now, granted, he did want Paxton Lynch, and the Broncos saved us from Paxton Lynch. Yeah. But other than that, he drafted some good guys, man. He drafted Marcus Peters. That was a great pick. If he could have just kept his attitude in check, he was a hell of a corner. There were some other guys that he drafted as well. So, he obviously drafted Mahomes. I know that Veach was pounding the table as a scout, but that was still John Dorsey.
Yeah, he had to do it. He had to make the call. The same way Veach has to make the call now when it comes down to some of them. I don't think people really understand how that works, though. It's not solely just Brett Veach. It's regional scouts will go in and
Veach has an entire staff.
Yeah.
Like,
and these guys have been watching.
Yeah.
Dude, some of these guys don't even see their families. They will stay out in certain regions and watch football for years.
Yeah. Hey, Brad, good point. Dorsey drafted Chris Jones too. So I mean, he definitely had some really good draft
that was
picks.
the year they tried
Paxton
to get
Lynch,
up for Paxton Lynch and then had to come down for it. Think about how much a draft impacts certain things. Like I think every Super Bowl team, you can look back and you can pinpoint one single draft that was the key to winning. And again, I think you're going to look back at the Chiefs and you're going to say it has to be Patrick Mahomes' draft because Patrick Mahomes. But is it? Or is it the one before where you got lucky and you missed Paxton Lynch? You grabbed Chris Jones. You set yourself up for that. I don't know. I think you look at that I think you look at those drafts together, and those two together has set up this dynasty run for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that's two of the three guys. Well, if you're not counting the coach, because Andy Reid's a big part of the reason why we've been in this dynasty. But if you're just counting like pivotal players, Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes, right? So yeah, two of the three were drafted right there. When was Kelce drafted? Obviously he's a lot older than these guys we're talking about. I'm trying to remember the year.
Kelce was drafted
right around when Andy Reid first came in, I think.
Yeah, it was like 20.
It's crazy to think
13 maybe?
Isn't it wild that Andy and Travis have been around for so long?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It doesn't seem like it in a weird way.
John Dorsey drafted Travis Kelce. John Dorsey drafted Patrick Mahomes. He drafted Tyreek Hill. He drafted Eric Fisher. He drafted Chris Jones, Daniel Sorensen, and Tano Passignon. That would have been who they said was his top 5 chief picks.
That's a hell of a top right there.
Yeah, that's what the Canton reporter said was his top 5. I mean, that could be debatable
just those
amongst Chiefs fans,
just those top 3, though. Those are not debatable. Like, that's insane.
No.
That's insane, yeah.
Tyreek Hill, too, taking a chance on him because, having those issues in Oklahoma State, going to South Alabama.
I said top 3. I guess you could say top 4 because I didn't count Hill.
Yeah,
he had
count Tyreek.
He had a hill of a top 4.
Yeah, he did. But I think that goes to a lot of the coaches too, though. And Andy. Andy's got a big.
Oh, yeah,
Andy
for
was the
sure.
reason I'm pretty sure we drafted Brian Cook, wasn't he? I think Andy loved Brian Cook. He was pounding the table for him. That's why we took him in round 3.
Yep. Brian Cook ought to be back and healthy by the beginning of the season, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's going to linger too much further in, you know.
Yeah, I know it was an ankle thing.
I do think
don't remember the
safety.
extent.
I do think safety might be on the draft board this year. I think the Chiefs could go safety before they go corner in this draft.
There's a couple of safeties in there that I do like. Probably mid draft. Demerson.
Oh yeah. Dadrian Taylor Demerson from
Yeah,
Texas Tech.
I like him a lot. I like
He's a ball hawk, man.
I also like the kid from Utah, super athletic, Cole
Bishop.
I
think Cole Bishop could maybe. I think he's pressuring Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota to be the first guy off the board. And honestly, I think there's a third one coming on strong. Georgia's Javon Bullard. Javon Bullard's a little shorter. He's only 5'10", but dude, he's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect with the way that VEACH drafts and the way that he's really good at getting defensive backs in mid to late draft, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a corner and a safety in this draft.
We've not seen a Justin Reed contract extension talk.
Right.
Do you think this will be Justin Reed's final year, right?
Right. I would love to see him extended.
You think maybe they draft somebody, though, just in hopes that I don't know if anybody thinks Justin Reed set the world on fire. I think he's solid. I think he's solid enough that I would extend him.
I think Justin Reed doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. But then again, he does have a fat contract. So a lot of people go by that, right? So, I mean,
and again, that's a place where you could draft here. You can let him play a year behind Justin Reed, and then Justin Reed can be shown the door, and then you don't have a big old fat contract next year. Because Chris Jones, that big old fat contract, speaking of, he's going to have to start rescheduling that as early as next year, it looks like. He's going to have to start restructuring that bad boy.
Yeah, but I mean, it does open up the door for that as a possibility, I suppose. But I would kind of expect to see them try to keep Justin Reed around. I feel like he does a lot of little things that people don't really.
Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Steve, I'm going to ask you this one. We're just going to keep talking Chiefs football. I think it's Chiefs football, team building, a little bit of draft mixed in here and there. If you guys got questions, put them in the chat, whatever you want to do. But speaking of trying to build teams, Steve, I think are you under the assumption that you think Nick Bolton is going to get a long-term deal here?
Absolutely.
I think Spags likes him enough, and he's the green dot, and I think he gets it. And there is still a ton of hate. I've seen so many people say that is Brett Veach's worst draft pick. They've got to be trolling, right?
How stupid can you be?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's anybody within the I don't know if you guys watch Kingdom Cast. We like some of Kingdom Cast, but they were retweeting some of these the other day, and everyone they were retweeting was saying Nick Bolton as the worst pick. So I don't know if they were doing it to show how dumb people are or if they were in agreement.
Probably showing how dumb people were.
Surely, man. Dude, I just don't see how you can't like the way Nick Bolton plays football.
If you don't like Nick Bolton or you think Nick Bolton was a bad draft pick, then you don't really know football. Like, you don't understand how it works. You don't understand the impact he's had.
Nick Bolton flat out beat the hell out of the Eagles in that
Bolton
Super Bowl.
Beat the hell out of a lot of people.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's pretty crazy. So,
honestly.
okay, so if Nick gets the extension, which we both
absolutely
believe,
yeah,
Pops is under the assumption, and I don't know, Pops isn't here to defend himself.
Uh-oh.
But Pops is under the assumption that he thinks Creed Humphrey may not get the extension because the centers and guards are starting to get big old fat contracts. And he don't know if Creed Humphrey, especially with some of his snap issues and some of
but I think what Pops is saying is he don't think he's safe. Like no one's 100% safe.
Do you?
I don't think he's 100% safe, no, but I do think that Creed Humphrey to me feels like he's going to be a Chief for a while.
Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Is Creed Humphrey 100% safe to get a big fat contract extension, or do you think it's debatable?
It's debatable for sure. I don't think there's no way it's just 100% lock. But it's the same with Trey Smith. I think Trey Smith's got a lower chance of a long-term contract than Creed does.
Dude, look. Well, check this. So I had this really fascinating just conversation the other day.
Fascinating?
Yeah, it was. Do you know how people are? Do you know how football? There's certain positions being devalued over time. We've seen it with the running back position. Okay, We've kind of seen it with the safety position. The safety position is not as valued as it was years ago, back when you had the Ed Reed heyday. Teams are going to a lot of rookies to fill it, and they're lower level players and this and that. Do you think their counter? So, for example, on the running back, do you think the counter to a good running back is always a really good linebacker, right? Like an outside linebacker. Do you think outside linebackers are now going to start taking a hit since running backs have been devalued? Do you think now outside linebackers start being devalued a little bit? Because that was their sole purpose a majority of the time.
I don't think that they would be devalued because, first of all, the reason why the running backs were devalued is because of people like Isaiah Pacheco.
Right.
They're not devalued because they're not good players. It's just the fact that you can get someone that's a top 10 running back in the league in the 7th round. Right? That's how they got devalued a little bit. Like, there's
you know who actually was on board with that? You know who started devaluing running backs way back in the day and people said he was crazy and not come around? Mel Kiper. I remember back about 10 years ago, every single draft, he was like, I don't know why anybody takes a running back in round 1 and round 2 unless they're super special. Such as like a Bijan Robinson or something.
Saquon Barkley, something like that.
Right. And he started, and everybody said he was crazy, and now look, devalued.
Right. Well, to answer your question, though, the thing about it is just because the running backs are devalued, and the reason being, like I said, you can get a really good one late, and we've seen it. We have Super Bowl champion Isaiah Pacheco. He's 100%. He's batting 1,000.
Yeah.
On Super Bowls. This kid was drafted in the 7th round. But, Mike, he's still really damn good. He's a ridiculous athlete. They still have to have guys to counter that.
Isn't it?
It doesn't matter where he was drafted.
Right.
They still need a good outside linebacker.
Isn't that offense dependent, though? Because, for example, the Chiefs don't need necessarily that big back that's going to carry it. Like, we don't need the Eddie Georges of the world or, the big boy
Derrick Henry.
The Derrick Henrys. But the way the Ravens are designed, they need it. I don't think they could survive with a Pacheco as much as they run. Not saying Pacheco's not a dog that could get in there and get you some yardage, but Pacheco, he's had a lot of injury problems for as little as he runs the ball.
Well, it's the way he runs. He runs so hard, 100%, like every play. Like he's not going to let up.
So going back to the value to devalue, we've seen defensive tackles start getting bank. Chris Jones, Matabuke, you name it. These guys are getting paid, man.
Deron Payne.
Christian Wilkins. They're getting paid. Do you think that was the reason we seen all the center guards huge contracts this year? Because you've got to get somebody in there now to start fighting these elite DTs.
Right.
And so that makes essentially Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, those contracts are going to start inching up. And I'm pretty sure I've seen somewhere where Creed and Trey Smith could be estimated over $50 million.
That's sick, ain't it?
I don't know if you can pay both of those guys $50 million. It's pretty wild, man.
I don't know, man.
It's a fascinating, it's a crazy conversation in my opinion. Like, I really don't know what Brett Veach does there, because you can get good guards and centers in round 3 that can come in and start for you.
Well, we talked about this offseason being very pivotal. I don't know why I can never say that word, for the Chiefs and what they're going to do going forward in this dynasty and how they're going to approach it. Right. But I think next season's just as much.
Right.
Like, I feel like there's 2 critical years right here, man.
Jennifer, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
What's up, Jennifer? But yeah, man, I think this offseason's huge. Next offseason doesn't get any easier. It doesn't.
Right. Brendan says, wasn't Creed dealing with a hand injury in the low snaps? Yeah. And I think they started making him snap the ball with his opposite hand, right? He was a lefty and Patrick wanted it right-handed. I don't think Creed's bad in any way, and I think Creed's a big-time fan favorite. I think just the question has to be asked is like, well, $54 million when you can get a rookie? Like, look, we can set at 32, and there's really we already know if the Chiefs aren't going to trade up, which Brett Veach already said wide receiver tackle is probably his 2 biggest. Okay, again, you don't know what's blowing smoke and what's not. And they asked him something about trading up, and he said, hey, it can happen. It's a long way to 32. I think if he trades up, it's got to be for tackle over wide receiver. Wide receiver's deeper. And it's how you view some of these tackles. Do they view Taliesin Fuanga as a left tackle? I don't know. I personally think he's a right tackle only and probably goes to guard. I don't know if he plays left tackle with 32-inch arms. I don't really view Jordan Morgan as a left tackle. I think he's a little too short-armed. I think he's going to kick back down inside the guard. So it's how they're looking at these guys, Steve. I just read a thing today that said they don't think Amarius Mims can kick the left side. They think he's a right tackle only. So why would the Chiefs want him? unless you're just going to get out of the Jawan Taylor contract next year.
That's
always a possibility.
That's something I've been putting a lot of thought into. Is like a lot of people think that the Chiefs need to go tackle in the first round, or they need to go wide receiver.
Right.
Well, Mike, I've been saying for weeks, I think the Chiefs have the ability to just take best player available. I think they're in a position to where they can do that, and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards that. Because like you said, if they want to go tackle, what do we need? We need a left tackle, right? We need assurance at left tackle.
Yeah. If you don't think, you at least got to have Wanye some competition.
You're not trading
here.
up for Joe Alt. You're not doing it.
Yeah, you can't
Absolutely
get up that high,
not.
I don't think.
You're not getting up high enough for any of these left tackles. You're not. So let me think about this for a second. Wide receiver is really not as important as a trade up. Absolutely not. So it's just like...
Well, again, you're not getting the top 3. So who's your number 4? Is your
It's the
number
same
4
way with
A.D.
tackles.
Mitchell? Is it Brian Thomas? And even if it is those two, is there enough separation that you got to come up and get Brian Thomas in the 20s? In the early 20s? Like, I don't think so.
I'm telling you, I would not be surprised with any pick that comes across the board in the first round, because I think it's going to be best player available in positions that the Chiefs think are critical.
It's going to be a wild night, isn't it, Steve?
And if the Chiefs have, say the critical positions that the Chiefs want to fill, or what they feel is a need, is wide receiver, tackle, defensive tackle. What else would you throw on there?
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
I don't think linebacker, safety, corner is an early need.
Tight end might be.
I don't think
not
it's an early need. Yep,
right.
No.
So if you're just looking at, but anyway, you put all the positions the Chiefs need, add all of them in there.
Yeah.
Whoever's the best player on that board at one of those positions is going to be who they take. So it damn well could be, it could be a defensive back. It could be a defensive end. It could be a defensive tackle. It could be a wide receiver. It could be an offensive lineman. But it doesn't mean that they have to take certain positions.
VEACH even said out of that 16 to 18, 4 or 5 of them could be quarterbacks. I think he was trying to be nice and put Bo Nix and Michael Penix in there because you don't want to give it away. You know, of like, well, he's not got those 2 in there, so they only got 3 quarterbacks in the top 16. But, dude, you know they're not taking a quarterback. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly.
Even though PFF loves it. I was proving how bad PFF was today. I took Michael Penix in the 2nd round at 64, and they give me an A+ and said that was the great pick.
Stupid.
PFF's
5 bomb from Jennifer. We appreciate you, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Thanks for the support.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
we got
but
2 bomb from Jordan.
Do we?
2 bomb from
Nice.
Jordan.
What's up, Jordan? We ain't ready for the draft, Jordan. That's who's ready. I know me and Mike are. Man.
Did somebody cha-ching it?
Somebody cha-chinged it.
Oh. You know what? We appreciate you guys throwing out the money. We got the party hard going, baby. Let's go. Look at that.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for supporting. We put a lot of... Good Lord, are you done yet?
It's going wild, baby. It caught up to all 3 of the people that it had to go ham. That's what happened. It's done. It's done.
No, but we appreciate you guys with the donos. It does help us get to spend more time on content. Honestly, that's what it does.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But yeah, man, we're super ready for the draft. After all the work we put into it, it's going to be cool to see how it all pans out. Mike, we haven't updated our latest Chiefs predictions. We needed to do a version 3, and then we're going to have to do a final version right before the draft. So that's some work we need to be doing.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the last 2, and I think they're pretty solid for real, but I think we can tweak them a little.
Are we honestly just going to go back and, like, are we these guys who just got so lazy or so lucky that we kind of got it right the first time? We're just not going to change it. There's minor tweaks.
Absolutely not.
Don't you feel like, though, that, like, at 32, Kingsley is probably, like, it's got to be between him and Patrick Paul if you go left tackle, right? Maybe Jordan Morgan, if you think he's a left tackle. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really stick to the board, that's your only 3 picks you could do. So then it becomes, are they going to take the left tackle then? And that's
I'll tell you what,
so tough.
The more I look in, the more I dig, and the more I thought about this, like I said.
The more I dig.
I think it's a best player available type situation. But I think if they go left tackle early in the draft, I really do think it's leaning towards Patrick Paul.
Why? Because Patrick Paul's that pure left.
Yes.
He's played everything at left tackle.
He was good at it.
I think he's done karate.
Yeah.
He's got good handwork.
Is that why they're picking him? Because he done karate? Is this what we're getting to?
Athlete, good handwork, Steve. Hand fighting is a must.
What is he, just a big fat Ralph Macchio? Is that what he is?
Yeah, Ralph Faccio is who we're going to get. And I'm down for it.
Sure.
Patrick Paul. But it's 32 too early for Patrick Paul. Steve, my ideal scenario on draft night is we don't pick on round 1. I know that would disappoint a lot of people watching for 5 hours, but if you can get out of 32, I'm down. If you can move back 5 spots and pick up your 3rd, 4th, another one, I'm fine with it. I think you get just as much value at 37, 38 than you're going to get at 32.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a trade back could be, it just depends on who's there, right? I saw, I think it was Lewis said Brian Thomas Jr. or Xavier Legette. Like, I think, obviously Brian Thomas Jr. is higher up on our board.
Yeah, I would take Brian Thomas Jr. over him.
I think you have to.
You have to?
If they're both available. Now, if you're talking about where they're going to go in the draft, then maybe Legette's the play because you probably have to move up for Junior.
Yeah, you'd have to move up for Brian Thomas Jr. Steve, are you under the assumption, because the more I think about this, I just think it's going to happen. I think that Bean and the Bills are going to try their damnedest to get up the board and get a wide receiver. Absolutely. And I think that they may just go balls to the wall and try to get in that top 9 or 10 and try to get them like a Roman Dunze or somebody. Because I think they know Josh Allen doesn't have that. Josh Allen's not going to do Patrick Mahomes stuff without receivers. Patrick Mahomes can do Patrick Mahomes stuff with a crappy group of wide receivers. We've seen it. I don't trust Josh Allen to do that, and I don't think Brandon Bean and none of them trust it either. And I think they're going to go balls to the wall and try to get them a receiver, and I don't care if they give up the house. We've seen the Falcons do that a few years ago. Well, not a few now. It's been a long time. But they give up absolutely draft pick after draft pick to go up and get Julio Jones. That worked out pretty well, right, for Matt Ryan? I think they're in that similar situation after trading Stephon Diggs to the Texans. I really do.
They're definitely a trade.
Their only wide receiver they got right now, Steve, is Khalil Shakur.
Right, Mike. I don't even think you have to make a case for it. I think it's pretty obvious Buffalo is a trade up candidate for sure.
They might be scared that the Chiefs are trying to jump for a wide receiver too. They don't want to get jumped again by the Chiefs, so they may be drastic. I'm thinking they could be drastic on draft night.
The thing about it is Buffalo don't really have to trade up to get a decent receiver either because of this class.
But it's what they want. Do you want AD Mitchell that is bust? He's got bust potential.
They're
because
all
we
bust
see
potential.
Right, and so is Brian Thomas. But your top three's not. I don't think Roman Dunze's bust. I don't think Marvin Harrison's a bust, and I don't think Malik Neighbors is going to be a bust.
Well, I don't know. What do you expect to get from guys like that? Because would you, like Drake London, would you call him a bust?
No.
Or has he been like just absolutely...
Well, he's had 1 year. He's had 1 year, and it was pretty solid.
Did he tear the league down, though?
I mean, it's pretty solid. Let me look at his exact stats. I am curious. Let's see.
I'm just saying,
what would you consider good and bad for bust?
I don't know. I'm just
Steve,
saying it's subjective. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he had in 2022, so he's been in the league 2 years. 2022, 866 yards, 4 touchdowns. Last year, he went up to 905 yards and 2 touchdowns. So not a lot of touchdowns, but the Falcons
So Rashee Rice in his rookie year, a second-round draft pick, had outperformed him.
With Patrick Mahomes as his QB, not a group of idiots.
I understand, but I'm just saying this is subjective.
It is subjective, but I don't call him a bust.
I wouldn't call him a bust
Drake
either,
London a bust.
I'm just saying, like, what are you considering a bust? Because I think these top 3 guys, I think it's very likely to me that one of those guys are not going to be that great.
Steve, I did a little thing. Let me just talk to you about this.
It's all
for
about
just a
situation.
Second. I went back and I looked the last 5 years in the draft. I took out last year because it's hard to see. After 1 year, it's hard to call anybody a bust or not. So look, I took 2023 out. I went back 2022, 21, 20, 19, and 18, Steve, and I picked out every wide receiver taken in round 1 and round 2. What I found is usually the first 3 wide receivers you take in every draft are hits, and everybody else is a complete bust. Look, in 2022, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, hit. And then look after him. Jamison Williams, injuries. Jahan Dotson, he's okay.
Pretty good.
Not great. Treylon Burks, first round, bust. Christian Watson, decent when he's on the field, but he can't get over all the injuries. Wan'Dale Robinson in round 2, bust. John Mechie, injuries. Tyquan
You think
Thornton,
Wandale's a bust?
100%. What's Wandale Robinson done? You're going to call
Played
Drake
for the
London a bust?
Giants. You want to argue that with Drake London, he didn't have a quarterback. What the heck are we talking about here?
Dude, Wandale Robinson stinks.
Look who he's playing for. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
had 700 yards in 2 years.
It's all about situation.
I get it, but
If
you don't count that.
Wandale Robinson was a Chief, what do you think he'd been doing?
Are you out of your mind to think that the Wandale Robinson's a hit?
I didn't say he was a hit. I didn't say he was a
But
bust.
you've got
I'm just
two.
saying-
You've got two categories you can put them in: bust or hit. Which one is it?
I'm just making a point that it doesn't matter who you are if you're not in the right situation. That's what I'm saying. Those top three guys, yeah, on paper or what we've seen on tape, they should definitely hit, right? But that doesn't mean they're all 100% going to. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's what I was just trying to tell you, is that the only first round wide receivers that have not hit out of the top three was the year Henry Ruggs went. And to be honest, he didn't look bad on the football field. He just had a character issue that nobody seen coming. Jerry Jeudy stunk that year, but he just went and got paid. And then the third one in that draft was CeeDee Lamb. Obvious hit. Then we already talked about Marquise Brown was a hit and N'Keal Harry stunk. But Deebo Samuel the third, A.J. Brown the fourth, hit. The year before that, DJ Moore hit. Calvin Ridley hit. Cortland Sutton hit. That was the top three. So once you get past the top three, it's not good. Anyways, out of those last 5 drafts, there were 21 wide receivers went in round 1. 57% were a hit, 43% were a bust. But if you looked at round 2, out of 32 wide receivers, only 29% was a hit, 71 was a bust.
See,
So
Mike,
Brett
I don't
Veach,
think people's agreeing with you about this Wandale Robinson take.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't think you can call Wandale Robinson a hit.
Really?
I just don't see it. You think he's a hit?
Wandale's been going pretty nuts over there. But like I said, it's perspective. It's about where you're at. He's with the Giants. They don't do a whole lot. He has Daniel Jones throwing him the ball.
Okay, great. But Drake London has nobody. Garrett Wilson had a backup quarterback all year long. Chris Olave had Derek Carr. Like, what? You can't just make quarterback comparisons. I'm talking about, like, straight up, are these guys, were they a hit or were they not? And I don't think Wandale Robinson is in the category of a huge hit.
I'm not saying that he is, but like I'm saying, it's all about your situation. That's what I'm saying. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Every draft, isn't it not?
If Marvin Harrison Jr. went to the crappy, like, say he goes to the Cardinals, do you think he's really just going to tear it up with Kyler Murray?
I think he's going to have good statistics. Yeah, he's going to be good.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, how bad do you think?
Kyler Murray sucks, and he's probably going to be hurt.
But he's going to be, dude. That run to me, out of the top 3, the one that I would consider could be the biggest bust out of the top 3. To me, it might be Malik Neighbors.
Not a chance. I don't see it.
You see Marvin Harrison Jr. busting before Malik Neighbors?
Because he's going to go to the Cardinals.
Well, where's Malik Neighbors going?
I'm not the Cardinals. There's got to be a better situation than that. That's all I'm saying.
Is Romo Dunze going to bust if he goes to the Bears at 9 with Caleb Williams as his quarterback? A rookie quarterback in Chicago. Is he busting?
Potentially. Like, that's a sketchy situation.
Wow. This is wild, though. You're calling them bust based off.
I'm not saying they're going to be. I'm just saying there's potential there.
You're telling me, though, that you wouldn't take those 3 guys. There's a reason why they're 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, let me put it this way.
You don't think AD Mitchell's not a way bigger bust potential? Even the fact that he could possibly go with Patrick Mahomes.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like, I'm trying to get you on the same page as me. I don't think we're on the same, like, we're arguing about something that 2 different things. So what do you think's more, like, do you think that Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals has less chance of being a bust than someone like AD Mitchell with the Chiefs?
I'm not okay. Look, could he have good? could the numbers play out in the favor of somebody who's got Patrick Mahomes over Kyler Murray? Absolutely.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's about.
So you're just saying that the Cardinals just shouldn't draft a wide receiver because he's a bust.
They absolutely will. I'm not saying he's a bust.
I'm just saying though, if you just because they got Kyler Murray now, that's the thing here is that Kyler Murray stinks in your opinion. So they shouldn't draft a wide receiver until you draft a quarterback. That's basically all you're saying.
If I was there, yeah, kind of. But no, I'm just saying that it's all about your situation, right? I think that good players, I think very good football players have gone to the NFL and never panned out.
Well, that's
because
obvious.
of the situation they went to.
Puka Nacua wouldn't have absolutely panned out if he don't go to a situation where they're throwing him the ball all that time.
That's what I'm saying. That's all.
But I'm saying when I look back at all this stuff,
all that started because you said that those three were can't miss.
First round is where you get your less bust rate out of round 1 and round 2.
Well, yeah, of course you're getting better caliber players.
But again,
that's obvious.
All your busts are after your top 3. That's all I'm trying to say. Any receiver taken after the third one in the first round is where you have your highest bust. So again, a Chiefs taking a wide receiver down at the end of the list is going to be wide receiver 6 or 7. That's got
but
a big bust
getting any
opportunity.
of the top 3. They're not getting any of the top 3, right?
Right. So do you just go ahead and wait? That's kind of the exercise. Like, does Brett Veach say, hey, we got to weigh these stats?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. That's why I think they're in a position to take best player available. They don't have to take any position. A lot of people are like, oh, they have to go after left tackle or they have to go after wide receiver. I've said this at least 5 times. They don't. They really don't.
I don't think so either. Chiefer out here with the gifted. Let's go. We got a gifted membership. I love it.
I don't know about that horn blast. We might have to do something about that one.
I love the horn, baby. Getting horned up for the horn blast. That's what I'm talking about. Mindshift. What's up, Mindshift? He said, I'm enjoying the banter. Steve, sometimes we get off into some football talk, man, and it's wild. We don't always agree on everything.
No,
people think we agree on everything. It's not always.
It's like it's good to go back and forth too. Like sometimes I'll play devil's advocate. Sometimes I like to get Mike going, even if what I'm saying I'm not like 100% behind. But it's good to get that back and forth because that's how you talk things out, right?
Yeah. Jay says, who is the best route runner compared to the wide receiver who uses his athleticism to make plays? I'll take the route runner with good hands.
Vlad McConkey.
Right, but I think also what he's saying, the route runner with hands is Marvin Harrison Jr., your athleticism's neighbors in your top.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So again, that's different flavors. People like different flavors. Some people do like the athletic. I think the Chiefs would probably have Malik Neighbors higher on their board than Marvin Harrison, to be honest.
I think so too. I think the Chiefs might.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Malik Neighbors is not the number 1 player on their board, minus the quarterback if they put Caleb Williams on there or whatever, but they're not taking quarterback.
Lewis said that dang horn almost made me throw my phone.
Yeah, the horn, it was turned up a little loud. The horn was horned up. But here, let's listen to it. Is it better?
We horned it down?
There we go. That's a better horn.
It down a little.
Dude, I had a Slick Willie himself. Bill Clinton was in here playing the horn. He's over here. He's like,
the saxophone.
He's got the sax going.
Angry Drunken German says, I'm holding hope for Garindo on day 3. I don't know if he'll make it that far, man. Like, he didn't have that much production in college, so sure, maybe he could. But I don't know. Do you feel like Garindo might sneak his way into the back end of the second? I
think second's too high for Garindo.
I do too. But all I'm saying, I think the reason why it is though is because all of the running backs are going to fall down that low, right? But I mean, when you get outside of, let's say the top 3 running backs, like you did the receivers,
right?
You get outside of Brooks, Benson, and
I have Jalen Wright in my top 3.
Jalen Wright, yes. You get outside of those 3. Who's to say Garindo ain't the next one taken off the board? Just off the fact that he's 6'2", 225 pounds, running 4.3.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 221, runs a 4.3.
That's what I'm saying, man. So I mean,
he's athletic and everything.
Teams can reach on that just the same way they're going to reach on Xavier Worthy.
Well, I have a story. I was listening to a couple people talk, and one of them was a guy that knows like GMs and different things. Like he's got sources that know GMs, and he said that running back was the wildest ranked one. Like the specific team that he ranks for had a running back listed at number 1 that he had the 14th ranked running back on his board. That's how much it's varying.
Say that again.
So he's basically saying that the team this guy ranks for, you know what I mean? Like their rankings.
Yeah.
Their number 1 ranked running back, who they saw number 1 out of all running backs, was his number 14. And he said that's running back is insane. Like, so, yeah, you're right. Isaac Grindle could be somebody's number 2. He could be somebody's number 20.
Right.
Don't know. Right now, I don't even.
I'll tell you what, guys.
He's outside my top 10 right now.
This draft is very difficult. Like this draft class compared to the last 2, I feel like is way more unpredictable because I do feel like there's a lot of players that could be someone's number 1 and someone number 14.
Right.
In every position. Like it's insane. Like there's a lot of parity in this draft.
Dude, I think corner in this draft's another one. Where's Cooper DeJean going to go? I think some people think he could be the best if he didn't get injured.
I love Cooper DeJean. Even with his injury, coming back off injury, I think he's still one of the best.
Some people think Terrion Arnold is still more of a number 1 than Quinyon Mitchell because Quinyon's from Toledo, but Quinyon had a great offseason. And then Kamari Lassiter looks good. Probably going to be a nickel corner only, but he runs a 4.6. TJ Tampa looks great. It's looking like maybe he's more of a zone guy. Also runs closer to a 4.6. But then news comes out today that he was clocked at 22 miles an hour. So who knows? I feel like it's a lot of weird. You never know. You just never know with these guys. Again, I think you could get a guy in round 2 and people's going to be like, I had a round 5 grade on that guy. Like somebody reached, but is it a reach? Right. You know who always does that? The Patriots used to do that a lot. Cole Strange.
Yeah, the Patriots do it a lot. Now that Belichick's
out, Belichick's out, so now probably not.
Yeah, but I just want to take a quick second to say thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. It just takes a second. Do us a freaking favor. Hit the like button. It's free. It takes no time whatsoever. Go do that. Also, if you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. We talk all things Chiefs football. Hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us more often. Don't be afraid to get in the chat. And just a couple of things real quick. We appreciate the donos, by the way. It helps keep the channel afloat, helps us spend more time on content, less time at work. All of it's great. It goes to helping the channel grow. Appreciate that. But you can also help the channel out by just going over to patreon.com/allchiefedup and joining for $1 a month over there, getting all kinds of extra content. And also merch.allchiefedup.com. You can find yourself some good merchandise there. Well, everything you buy, it just goes to helping the channel grow, and you're going to look fresh. You're going to look nice in your all chiefed up stuff.
Yeah. Steve, is there any my guys that you like in this draft?
Mike, we've talked about my guys 15 times.
I don't want to talk about just the my guys that you know. I'm just mean like, is there anybody that you love that we haven't talked about? Because you do tend to say Xavier Legette, which we talk about a lot. You like Kamal Haddon, we know it. Is there anybody else?
Are there any that we haven't talked about? So you kind of put me on the spot, and I feel like there are, but I'm just not thinking of them off the top of my head.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
You're fine. We got Pops in here with 5.
Pops with the 5.
Let's go.
He just wanted the horn to go off. Pops just wanted the horn to go off.
Yeah, he does. That gets 5 horns.
Whoa.
No, I'm doing.
Whoa.
We're not getting 5 horns.
Shutting it down, baby. Shutting it down.
Calm down. Let the horn be it. Steve, who doesn't like a big horn?
Someone said in the chat earlier, nothing wrong with a big horn.
See? Nothing wrong with the big horn. Steve Brandon says Kyler Murray does not suck. The Cardinals win when he plays. He was just hurt.
He sucks. I think he sucks.
Let's do an exercise here.
Hey, appreciate you, old man. Thanks for the 5 gifted.
How long has Kyler Murray played in the NFL?
Long enough to suck.
I'm just curious. Has he really only been in the NFL for 2 years?
I know, dude. It's amazing, isn't it?
Seems like he's been here forever. No, okay. He's been in the league since 2019. Let's see. He was 5-10. He's 8-8, 9-5, 3-8, 3-5. Okay, he's had 50-50 season and one winning season. That's it. Doesn't that go both ways though? When you say receivers can be bust because quarterbacks sucks.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I mean, they come in and have to turn around.
I'm not saying that Kyler Murray went to the best situation. He was a number 1 draft pick, right? So I mean, a lot of those guys don't go to the best situations. But he still stinks. I don't like him. Like I wouldn't want him.
You're mean to Kyler.
He's a wee little guy. Can't even see over his offensive line. He has to run out of the pocket to try to see what's happening up the football field. And then he don't even know what plays are being ran because he was too busy playing Call of Duty all weekend. You know? I don't know about him. Not a fan.
Well, look, the year that he actually went, what was it, 10-6? I don't remember what he did. No, it was 11-6.
And you can't say he hasn't had receivers. He had D-Hop.
In 2021, he had D-Hop and Christian Kirk. So look, D-Hop. So you're saying that Marvin Harrison's going to bust if he goes there because Kyler Murray. But look, he had A.J. Green that stunk that year because he was coming back off injury. A.J. Green had 54 catches, 900 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He had D-Hop. He had 40 catches, 572 yards, 8 touchdowns. He had Christian Kirk, who had 77 catches, 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, those receivers, I wouldn't call any of those bad seasons. So, I don't think you can necessarily say Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to flat out stink.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said he's going to bust.
No, I said there's potential there. I did not say he was going to. Quit shaking your drink around and listen to me sometimes. That's awesome.
No, you
here's a good question. Julia Gulia says Tua or Kyler. Which one are you taking?
Tua.
Me too. Me too.
I'll take Tua because I don't even really know. I just feel like Tua, I don't know. To be honest, Tua's a product of Tyreek Hill, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Flapjack with the 2 says Barry dates a UFC fighter. Dude, small and soft. He probably gets beat up at home.
He dates a UFC fighter? Who does he date?
Nate Diaz, I think's his name.
That's not true.
I'm just joking. I don't know who he's. I don't know. That's great. Are you Googling it?
I am.
You know, check it out.
He does date Nate Diaz. No, I'm joking. Morgan LeMasters.
I don't know her. Then again, I don't
either.
exactly keep up with UFC, so I only know the really popular ones.
You want to see a picture?
Yeah, let's look.
Let me bring it up.
Yep, bring it on up. Let's see it.
Let me bring it up.
I feel like you're going to bring up something. What?
Yeah, man.
The storylines on the side's really throwing me off, too. You're going to have to take this.
Yeah, what do you expect with X?
Was that old lady in a standoff in Seattle Hotel?
No, I don't think she's part of that.
Because Kyler
one.
Murray looks like he's 12 in this picture.
I don't know, man. It's getting wild out here in the street.
That wasn't that had to be like his mom or something, right?
His mom? No, it wasn't her. His girlfriend is like.
Where did you find a random picture of him and an old lady?
That's just what popped up when I searched it.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it's not her though. Here, I found a real one. Here she is. Here, I'll throw this up for you.
Oh God.
I'm not lying this time either.
Whatever. I don't
Share
trust
the
you.
tab. Here we go.
I don't trust you.
Here it is. That's really his girlfriend.
She's a fighter?
Yeah.
Why is it so blurry?
I don't know. Small
Oh,
picture,
there it goes.
I guess.
She's not a fighter, is she?
Yeah. I mean, it says
Dude, she has to be like record shortness. Like, cause go up. Kyler Murray's 5 feet flat and he towers over her.
Right.
That's wild.
That is pretty wild. She's got to be like 3 foot tall. I was
It's
trying to
pretty
see if it showed what she does.
I don't know. I don't like it no more. Let's not talk about it. Let's just take it off there.
It says she's a district manager at Cheddar's, bro.
It's an old one. You found an old one.
Morgan the Masters, is that not it?
He ditched the Cheddar's girl for a UFC fighter.
Oh, that would make sense because, I mean, look, I don't want to be that crazy, but, like, she looked okay. It didn't look like she was taking too many punches to the dome. Now I'm curious as who the real one is.
Mike, I don't even care no more. I've never cared.
I found her name. Is it Valentina Shevchenko? Shevchenko. Oh, wow. Okay, you don't want to see this. You ain't want to see it.
Is it the same person?
You ain't wanting to see it.
I'm afraid of it. Yeah, see, I'm with Julia Gulia. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Look, this is the Shevchenko.
Oh, God. I'm done. I'm done.
Forget it. Who brought this up
anyway?
Can't take it no
more.
Who brought this up? Flapjack? Good Lord.
Fat lard, come get some dinner.
Get some dinner. Look,
Man.
you gotta figure it out. If somebody's gonna bring it up, I've got to figure it out.
But why?
I don't know. Ain't nothing better to do at 10:07 on a Saturday.
So we have literally, 5 days till the draft?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 days. So we'll wake up just 4 sleeps. Well, 5 sleeps counting tonight.
So we'll put out some final Chiefs predictions before the draft. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be fun to go through. I think we've like I said, we've done 2 versions already, so we'll probably try to hone it in there. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, bro.
Yeah, we're also gonna do top 50. Our top 50 big board. I'll get that finalized. How are we getting that out to everybody?
Don't know, man. Don't know. I'll tell you what.
Can you just take a picture? Can it just put it like in a picture file and like upload it to Twitter or something? Or does it have to be like a file where somebody's going to download it?
It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Don't stress yourself, Mike.
I'm going to stress.
I'll
You
take
don't want to
care
help
of it.
me.
I'll take care of it.
You know, I wanted to help your boy out today. You didn't help me find Shevchenko.
Who?
Shevchenko. We just talked about this for an hour and a half. Kyler Murray's girlfriend.
Yeah, I told you I don't care about none of that. That's why I don't care. I don't know. I don't even know what it is.
I didn't bring it up in the chat, though.
What do you think? Okay, what's the most off the wall position the Chiefs could possibly draft in the first round that you think's feasible? That would really just throw people into a spiral.
It won't be running back. It's not going to be quarterback. Wide receiver's not going to throw nobody into a spiral. Gee, a center, a guard.
Yeah, I think
defensive
that's
tackle, defensive end. But is that really going to throw people in a spiral? Safety's not there.
If someone like JPJ's there, do you think they take a shot?
Boy,
or do you think
JPJ can actually play guard?
Yeah, I know.
So
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it doesn't really mean Creed Humphrey's gone.
No, but it gives you some flexibility, right? But
right.
And then also, like, what about second round? What about Cooper Beebe or one of those guys?
I like Cooper Beebe. Yeah.
So yeah, that's one.
You could even maybe take a Zach Frazier. Like that would be wild too, man. I don't know. Would you be like pumped?
What if Peyton Wilson dropped all the way to the end of the first round?
You know, I was considering that. He's going to be there. Peyton Wilson's not going to get taken to round 2, in my opinion, probably.
So do you think it's possible the Chiefs would take someone like that off value, even though they don't necessarily have to have that?
I don't think so, because I think if you do that, well, I take that back. you do well. I mean, they've got a lot of linebackers, so you've got that going for you.
Well, I mean,
but at the same time,
you have 3 set, right?
You got rid of Willie.
Right, but I still think your starters right now is obviously going to be Bolton, Tranquil, and Chanel, right?
Right, so I don't really think they need it. Although, like you said, what's his name? Peyton Wilson. He's an off-ball
beast.
guy, that can flat out
beast.
guard people. So I don't think he's got the blitz ability that Willie had. So I think Edger and Cooper does.
Yeah, that's another one.
But who I think is going to go before both of them?
Who?
I think Junior Colson. I think he's going to go before both of them, and I think Junior Colson could be last year's Campbell. Like, you might see him slide into the last part of the first.
You quit trying to be all sly about it.
Quit trying to be horned up about it.
Like, you know what I think?
You know what I think? I think Junior Colson might be that guy.
Lone Wolf Hollywood is related to Antonio Brown. It's his cousin. That's the true story.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's not. But CTE is not like running in the family, is it? Is that hereditary?
Obviously not, because you have it and I don't.
Steve, you're out. Okay, look. What do you mean?
No, for real. You knew that's his cousin? Why'd you act like you...
I honestly didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I don't recall.
We've literally talked about it on the show, brother.
You know how much crap we talk about. You know what I got to get rid of to get draft content in this brain? Like, I forgot what I ate for dinner yesterday.
What did you have today?
Buffalo chicken pizza.
From where?
Hoops. Delicious.
A little sports bar named Hoops.
Little sports bar named Hoops. It's a Louisville Cardinal sports bar. So they got pictures of Lamar Jackson around. I just want to throw things at it, but
You throw your chicken wings, like after you eat it, you just take the bone and like throw it and hit him. That's what I would do.
no, they would probably somehow say that was kind of racist. So I really would not do that.
Do you know what I had?
Not doing that.
Speaking of racism, I had Cracker Barrel. That's what I had for dinner.
How's that racism?
Yeah, remember they had the whole big thing about Cracker Barrel.
Oh, because of the name.
Yeah.
Racist to white people?
No, remember they said they had like crazy things hanging on the wall and stuff. You don't remember that whole story?
Speaking of, I want to take a picture. Let's me and you take a picture, make it black and white, and look really old timey, and hang it on a Cracker Barrel wall and see how long it
That's
stays.
a good one. Let's make a short of it. Us sliding it in there.
And then we
we'll
go back
and check.
every month just to test and get the picture to see how long it survives.
I like it. Hey, I got this cool old picture today. I got framed. Hold on. I got to see if I can get this up here. It's a moon landing. Do you see it? Man walks on the moon. What about that, baby?
Do you think the moon landing was a hoax, or do you believe it's real?
Hoax.
Well, you're a moon landing truther.
Yeah, none of it makes sense.
It kind of feels like it don't make sense. Does it?
None of it makes sense. It really doesn't. It looks fake as crap.
But you're not a flat earther though, right?
No.
I don't think I can get on board with the flat earth theory. It's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But the moon landing, I could say, okay, you can have some valid points.
Like, to me, they're like on the same level. Like, them actually being on the moon in that video you've seen, and then the earth being flat, they're on the same level of doesn't make freaking sense.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a wild one.
Common sense ain't that common anymore, Mike.
Tonight, and I love it. Do what?
Common sense ain't that common anymore, okay?
Nah.
Nikki says it's 100% real.
What is? Oh, the moon landing.
He said what? The Chiefs drafting a corner in the first round.
If there was a corner, if the Chiefs do draft a corner in round 1 at 32, who would you like them to draft? I would be fine.
Kool-Aid
if it was Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think I'd be okay with that.
Maybe if
one.
like DeJean or one of those fell down there and they thought they were maybe if one of those.
You think Cooper DeJean could fall to 32 though?
If someone did like that though, and like let's say the McDuffie situation where no one thought McDuffie was going to fall that far,
right?
And then
but there's
like,
one guy I would not want to take.
Why is he sliding? Let's go steal him. Do what?
One particular guy.
Quinyon Mitchell. I don't like him enough.
No,
Nate
Mitchell's
Wiggins,
good.
No. I'm not sold on Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's good.
You're out of your
but
mind.
I don't know about this next level. For
Nate
him.
Wiggins is the guy
Wiggins is the
that I do not. I would not get close to this guy.
I don't think VEACH will. I don't. I wouldn't worry about that one. You okay? You thinking about drafting Nate Wiggins?
No, man. If we drafted Nate Wiggins, I'd probably cry a little bit.
We've talked about a lot of receivers on here, and I've always said that this was one of my favorites. But what would you think? What do you think it would take for Brett Veach and the Chiefs to draft Keon Coleman? Like, do you think they would ever go that route?
Well, I mean, he's athletic. They look for athleticism. But the size profile.
Right. It doesn't really fit the normal.
Isn't that Xavier Legette too? Like all these big body, like the Chief fans want that finally.
Well, Xavier Legette, like his thing,
and I just don't think the Chiefs are going to deliver it.
Xavier Legette's a freak. Like this dude's running 24 miles.
Give me three wide receivers you'd be completely fine with at 32, and give me one guy you wouldn't like. Three guys you would be fine with, and one guy you wouldn't like.
Jeez, man, I think there's a lot I'd be fine with.
I would be fine with Xavier Legette. And I think you would too.
I'd be fine if they went with Keon Coleman, even though they're saying he could drop further. I'd be fine with
I'd be fine with Ladd McConkey. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if there's a guy that I just don't want there, probably Troy Franklin. We've talked about this. But other than him, Xavier Worthy, I don't want to high pick on Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I don't think I want Xavier Worthy at 32 either.
I'm not sold on AD Mitchell.
I think, man, I tell you what though, I would prefer AD Mitchell over Xavier Worthy and Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Troy Franklin. Jalen Polk. I think 32 is rich for Jalen Polk, but for some reason that just feels like somebody the Chiefs would take. Right? Just like something that surprises everybody that's out of left field.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy with that. If they took him at 32, I'd question that a lot. Because that means they're taking him over a lot of good receivers.
But you don't think... Okay, so for example, if they take him over... Let's say they take him over Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette, Troy Franklin. You're not happy with it?
Absolutely not.
Even though he's got a better drop rate than all of them?
Absolutely not.
A higher vert, faster 10-yard split than all of them?
I don't care about none of that.
So you just don't like Jalen Polk?
Dude, like here's my thing. Like,
yeah, but is that some kind of bias though? In a way, like you don't love Jalen Polk because people's not put him in a first round category. Like honestly, Jalen Polk puts up numbers of a number one wide receiver, and if Roma Dunze's not there, he's probably a Heisman candidate.
And I agree with it. I said that, and I agree with it, but. I don't go like you get really into the measurables of these guys, like the 10-yard split and blah 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 blah, and his toenails are this long and he breathes this fast, and like I don't care about any of that. I care about what I see on the tape. Like I see the player, I watch the tape.
Jalen Polk puts up. So what are you watching? He had 8 games where he had 100 yards.
That's awesome. I love it. But when I watch him play, he just does not come off. He does not jump out to me like Legette does. He does not jump out to me like Keon Coleman does.
So you like the splash play?
You're not listening.
I am. I'm trying to figure it out. You're saying he don't jump out the film. So is it just he don't have enough splash plays for you? Like you don't think he's a taker over of a game?
You just don't tickle my fancy, Mike.
You don't tickle your teats, huh?
Nope. He doesn't horn
Pop's
me
in the
up.
house. Pop says Mike Sainstrel. And Mike Sainstrel is a corner in this draft that I absolutely love. If we was to take him in round 2, I'd be ecstatic. Could you take him in round 2? Because Mike Sainstrel is he's not going to play outside. He's going to be a nickel corner only. But now that we're going to... What do you think the Chiefs do? You think the Chiefs just leave... McDuffie kind of playing more nickel and a little bit of outside? Like, do they just leave him? Or do you think they're just going to strictly move him out of nickel and let him play outside all the time now to where you would still need a nickel corner?
No, I think you're going to see Josh Williams pick up a lot of responsibility quick. I think you could see a lot of what happened last year with Josh Williams playing a lot of L'Jarius Sneed role. Not necessarily like where he shadows the number one receiver all the time, but he's definitely going to be in those situations. That's what I think.
Yeah. I like Mike Sainstrel, though. I think he's like a my guy for me on a corner in the corner class. Pops always likes a lot of the players I like. Pops would be like, hey, you guys ever heard of Jalen Crumuddy?
Crumedy?
Yeah. What's his name?
Jalen Crumedy. Right?
Jaden Crumedy. Yeah.
Jaden.
And I'm like, yeah, man. I like Jaden. He's like, I like Jaden. And then he's like, you like Mike Sainstrel? I'm like, yeah, I like Mike Sainstrel.
Brandon says Kyrie Jackson in the third. I like Kyrie Jackson. I think he's a sleeper in this draft. Third round might be a little rich. But
I can see it.
But yeah, I do think someone could take a liking to him and take him around then too.
The kid from Kentucky, Drew Phillips, he's getting second round consideration right now. He's my number 11 corner, and people are talking about him in the second round, man. Isn't that wild? Drew Phillips never even had an interception in college, and people's talking about a second round pick on him. So I don't think it's that far off for Kyrie Jackson to go in the third. But the Chiefs take him, though. Chiefs don't necessarily pick 6'2", 6'3" corners a lot. Like, that was more of like a Seattle Seahawk thing there for a little while. And the Chiefs never really did that, did they? I mean, Trent McDuffie's like 5'1".
Just a little bit taller than Kyler Murray.
L'Jarius Sneed was only 6 foot.
He seemed taller, didn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Is it because he's so lanky?
6.5 is what he is. 6'1.5" is what he weighed in at our test.
Kyrie Jackson is 6'4", bro.
Yeah, 6'3" and 7/8 is his official. So
he's huge.
Yeah, 203 pounds too. He's the heaviest one out of the group too. Besides Cooper DeJean's 203, same size as Cooper DeJean.
Actual draft like combine measurements was 6'4", 194. So he's not over 200.
Oh yeah, he is. Pro day. His pro day. That's where I got that 203. He weighed in after the combine at the pro day and come in at 203. So I don't know why he gained 10 pounds to come in at the pro day. It makes no sense.
He was eating at the Cracker Barrel.
But did they want him to come in?
Chicken and dumplings.
You think maybe they wanted him to beef up a little bit and they're talking about moving him to safety? Maybe that's what they were talking about.
I don't know. What do you think about I forgot his name. Our safety that we drafted last year.
Chamari?
Yeah, Chamari Connor. What do you think about him sliding down into corner and them drafting at safety?
He can play it. I think the Chiefs are going to look at safety, in my opinion. I think the safety might be something they look at. I think they may take safety over corner, to be honest. I think corner is kind of...
Well, I mean, you had Najee Johnson.
Is it corner under wraps?
Slid down to corner. He was drafted as safety.
Dude, Najee looked good. They drafted Nick Jones. He looked good. You also had Echo Boy Doe make the team and was playing late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're fine at corner, man. I really do. But safety, again, you re-signed Deion Bush. But look, you've 1 year Deion Bush to death. So this might be the last year Deion. And, I mean, if you draft a safety, he could beat Deion Bush in camp. So then you have Chamari Connor. You've got Justin Reed. You've got Cook. Cook was injured last year. Maybe he don't come back perfect. Maybe it takes him a little while to get going, get back up to football speed. I don't know. I don't think that should be a problem. But I'm just trying to think of reasons to draft. I see more reasons to draft a corner or a safety than I do a corner, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm throwing out predictions, man.
Yeah, I see that. I was going to say, would this not be the most Brett Veach thing ever?
Yeah. I think round 2 is a little rich for Malik Washington.
Me too.
I think Malik Washington will be around 3.
Malik Washington's got a bit of that Kyler Murray-itis, don't he?
Malik Washington can flat out play. I'll give him that.
How tall is he, though?
He's nasty. 5'8.5".
That's what I thought. Dang.
Dude, he's 5'8.5", but did you know? Listen,
but isn't Anthony Gold the same player that you can get 5 rounds later?
Yeah. He's 5'8", 174. Malik Washington's got about 20 more pounds on him. He's a little bit better at, staying up. But look, he was In 2023, Malik Washington at Virginia, Steve, had 111 catches, 1,400 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Good night. He was a second-team AP All-American, first-team All-ACC. He led all of FBS football in receptions, and he was 4th in yards, and he set a Virginia school record in yards. He was 9th in the NCAA in 2023 in all-purpose yards. He had 1,706 all-purpose yards.
Who's the last big receiver that came from Virginia?
He's a beast, man. The last big receiver. I was just looking at this the other day. Somebody got drafted a few years ago out of Virginia.
Because I was wondering how hard it would be to get the record for receiving yards at Virginia.
Who would have been it? Let's see. List of Virginia Cavaliers in the draft. Let's see if there's any good wide receivers come out. Let's see. Datavion Wicks came out last year. You remember Datavion Wicks?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Reed come out in 2020. Ain't nobody know that. Nobody knows about Joe Reed. The last good one, and he's not even good. Marquez Hagans, the Rams in 2006. And then Billy McMullen to the Eagles in 2003. So, yeah, I don't think it takes much to beat the Virginia receiving record.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was wondering.
Still, though, that probably beats a lot of teams.
I was wondering if I had a shot. Like if I went to Virginia.
I mean, still, though, 1,400 yards, that's still pretty good. I don't care where you are.
Yeah, it is. He looks good on tape, though, for real.
Dude,
I did like his tape, but he's just so tiny.
He's got 1,400 yards of yak in his career. Think about that.
Yak.
That's pretty crazy, man. He's actually not bad. He does catch the ball with his hands, too. But again, aren't we just taking more versions of Sky Moore? Isn't it just what these guys are? They're just more versions of Sky Moore.
That's almost like I don't know, man.
A yak guy. He runs a pretty limited route tree.
Those little bitty guys just like make me think of like, remember the tiny running backs we went with, like DeAnthony Thomas and Darwin Thompson.
I feel are we ever going to get off the trend where they just keep taking
tiny
Tyreek Hill?
I don't know.
Like it hit one time. It's hit one time. We're going to take it every time, man.
Tyreek Hill's hit more people than you've hit Tyreek Hill's in football.
That's true.
He's always punching somebody. Old men, women, it doesn't matter. Tyreek Hill's out to get you. Got to watch him.
Brandon says Malik broke Jamison Crowder's record.
Is that Crowder went to school at Virginia?
Crowder went to Duke. But maybe he broke something like a receptions record or something. Maybe ACC or something. I like Malik Washington. I don't fight it. You got Malik Washington in the 3rd round, I'd be fine with it. I think he could be a weapon.
Yep. Kevin Meek says trade up for Brian Thomas Jr.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I just don't want to trade up.
I think this is a trade back type of draft.
Yeah, I want to trade down.
Up. Yeah. I don't know, man. But just when I'm thinking that there's pretty much no way they would trade up, I could see Brett Veach just trading up.
Isn't it crazy? Just out of the top 18 wide receivers that we have ranked, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 18 that don't score elite 40-yard dash times. Isn't that insane? 5 out of 18. So that means 13 out of 18 score elite 40-yard dash times. 16 out of 18 score elite 10-yard split times. And 15 out of 18 score elite vert numbers. That's how good this wide receiver class is. So why do you trade up?
I just don't see it. I think that's why I don't like trading up in this.
Yeah, it's weird. And I know you just can't look at metrics. I understand that. But that's what a lot of these guys go on. Ray says take Patrick Paul because it's PP. More PP on the PP.
I mean, I'm kind of right there. I'm feeling like Patrick Paul might be that guy that they take for tackle.
Do you take him at 32 though, or do you got to trade it out?
I almost feel like they could trade up in the second and snag him, or trade down and get him.
What if you took? Okay, look, What if, say, at 32, you took A.D. Mitchell or Ladd McConkey, whichever one you like? And so far, the Chiefs have not spoke to A.D. They've spoke to Ladd, right? So let's just say Ladd McConkey, and then the Chiefs, they trade up their second-round pick, and instead of coming up to get a wide receiver like usual, we come up and get Patrick Paul. Would you be fine with Ladd McConkey, Patrick Paul, 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I think I'd be super pumped with that.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Like, Ladd McConkey's one of those guys, if they were to draft him, whether it's the end of the first round, whether they trade down and still get him in the, in the second round, like, Ladd's one of those guys I can't be mad at. Like, he's the best route runner in the draft, in my opinion. He's going to be solid. Like, it's nothing flashy, but like, he's going to do work.
Right.
And I feel like he would be a player that could step in day one and absolutely help this team out. And you can't be mad at that.
Yeah. Mindshift says, I noticed the Chiefs only met with players with 3rd and 4th round draft grades. Is that common or a clue they may be holding off to later? You do that for lots of reasons. A lot of the times you'll meet with people that maybe you don't even think is going to get drafted. You bring them in to talk to them and you gauge them and you say, hey, if we can't get to you, we're going to call you about UDFA. Come on out to Kansas City, So it just depends. But yeah, they haven't spoke to a lot. The guys that they've spoke to in their range, honestly, is your Patrick Paul, Kingsley Suamataia. They spoke to Ladd McConkey. They've not done a top 30 with Ladd. They did a meeting, a formal meeting at the was the combine? I think they did a formal meeting at the combine. So, but
With
they
who?
didn't do a top 30. So,
Ladd?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they met with him. It wasn't a top 30, though.
No, their top 30s have been kind of odd.
Very weird, but they always are.
Right. I don't think you give away your hand, and I think you just talk to different people. Not to mention, Brett Veach kind of plays chess, and when he plays chess, he kind of plays 3D chess. I could see Brett Veach bringing in Ben Sinnott for a top 30, right? And then maybe he's bringing in Ben Sinnott to talk about Cooper Beebe. Hey, how good of a teammate was Cooper Beebe? What was he like?
Yeah, but how are you gonna do that without just letting that's not happening. There's no way.
What do you mean? Oh, you could totally bring them in and get info off other people.
Hey, so here's the thing, man. We don't really care about you. Here's what we want to talk about.
That's not what you do, but you say, hey, we're interested, but then you talk about other people. Like, is there any good teammates that stand out? How was Cooper in his meetings? How was KT Levinston? That's another guy, man. I think he's going to kick down the guard, and he's going to be a good player. K-State's got a lot of decent players.
Ray says, Mike and Steve, do you agree with RG3 saying that Leggett would be a perfect fit with the Chiefs? I do. I think he fills in, he does a couple different things. The Chiefs don't really go for that prototype of a receiver, but I think he breaks that mold. I think if Brett Veach is being serious when he says, hey, my biggest regret, or one of his big regrets, is obviously just passing on DK Metcalf over stupid things, well, here's your chance. He tried to trade for A.J. Brown and couldn't get him. He regrets not drafting DK Metcalf. That's Xavier Leggett. He is those two guys. So, I mean, I think it's a fit.
Yeah, so's A.D. Mitchell, though, isn't he?
No, absolutely not. A.D. Mitchell is more of a George Pickens-esque guy, I think. I see like a bug flying around your head.
Yeah. It's like a moth.
That was awesome.
It's my
Good
friend.
stuff. What'd you name him?
Monty.
Jay Brown says the undrafted guys could be hits also. Absolutely. I think that Brett Veach is a really good UDFA type guy. Justin Ross, Khalif House ended up being UDFA last year. We thought he was going to make the squad the way he played in the preseason.
He should have.
He should have.
He should have made it.
He's always snagging guys.
I'd have much rather kept Khalif Housey than our 7th wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoever that may be.
I think Housey with our defensive backs coach and just the way that we develop those guys could have been nasty. Like, he could be a L'Jarius C type. But they let him go. He ended up with the Browns.
If he ends up getting back onto the open market, man, Chiefs can still bring him back though. They're familiar with him. Look,
That's
people
true.
aren't talking about this. We've brought in Kelvin Joseph, second round pick from UK a few years ago that Dallas had.
That's a low key one, but that could be kind of like the Lonnie Johnson thing.
Could be. But hey, he could play too.
Lonnie Johnson's one of those guys that he should have, by every metric and everything else, should have been a really good corner in the NFL. And he wasn't.
Yeah, they wanted their pick
for whatever reason. Yeah. So it's just interesting to me how, we could go talk all the talking we've done about these guys. We could come back, next year and it just be complete opposite of what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always just a chance everything could just, you never know. Like Darian Kennard said right here on this show, he wasn't expecting the leap from college to NFL to be as difficult as it was. Like, he wasn't expecting it to be that freaking huge. And I think it catches a lot of these guys off guard, Speaking
of catching off guard, let me bring this up. Let me share this. Will you look at this with me for just a second? Now, I know.
Would you look at that?
I know that this doesn't necessarily mean anything, possibly,
yep.
But maybe it does.
What do we got?
I'm on the Chiefs' official website to depth chart. Will you look at their depth chart? They've got Wanye listed as their second with nobody in the left tackle.
It's pretty strange, isn't it?
They've got nobody in wide receiver here. Why haven't they
Look how thin the whole offensive line is.
Right. Why have they not put Hollywood Brown here?
I think the person in charge of the website just sucks.
Okay. But that's still kind of strange. And then when you come down here to the defense, look, they don't have linebacker. They've got Bolton and Chanel. They've got Tranquil as the backup Mike. So
yeah, I think the web
nobody in the corner here. No Josh Williams or Jalen. Deion Bush is the backup, but no starter. Where in the world is Cook? Did we trade him? He ain't even on the roster.
Would you look at that?
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I think our guy fell asleep.
Yeah, that way.
They ain't even got Brian Cook on here.
Hey,
he just quit.
This is a job opportunity. You want to?
I got to get in there. I think.
Yeah, just run their website, bro.
I think I got to get in there.
Ray says Keon Coleman isn't talked about as much as the other guys. Do you think he will be a bust in the NFL? I think Keon Coleman has just as good of a chance as anyone else in the entire draft at being a legit starting X receiver in the NFL. I really do. I think he's got just as good of a chance as any of the other guys.
He's athletic. I've said it 1,000 times. You watch him on film, and he's an enigma. You're like, why is he so
solid as a receiver? Like, he's sure of his hands. He catches the ball.
But you say, why can't he get open? He's athletic. He looks so clunky sometimes, and then you'll throw him a screen pass, and 26 people whiff right by him because he's so athletic, and you're like, hello, why can't you get open?
I think he was
it's
open.
Weird. You think he just...
I never saw what the knock people had was he couldn't get separation. I never saw that as a problem in any of his tape.
I don't know, man. He was rough.
I don't know. To me, I feel like he
the one thing that kind of stood out to me that with him that kind of scared me was when Florida State needed to play, when they were in a big-time third down and had to move the chains, where they were in a fourth down situation, when they were in a scoring opportunity or we lose, Jordan Travis never looked at Keon Coleman. He looked everywhere else, and usually he looked at Johnny Wilson.
Maybe that says more about Jordan Travis than Keon Coleman.
Could. But I just feel like, if you've got an alpha wide receiver that's supposed to be that good, you're going to get the ball to him. But maybe they just assume that, hey, he'll always be our decoy, and we can go to...
Yeah, who knows?
Go to Will,
I tell you what really sold me on Keon Coleman. I loved his tape and everything. I loved him all the way up, even with the 4.6 40. I still, after I saw that gauntlet drill, and the fact that he was just spot on, like just straight down the line, caught every ball, and he hit 22 plus miles an hour. He was the fastest receiver in the entire combine in game situation. Like, that sold me.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's very underlooked.
Yeah,
you better get them horns ready, buddy. You better get them horns ready because we got a 20 bomb from our boy Chase here. Oh. The horns failed you, bro. They failed you. They
What is it doing?
It doesn't love us anymore.
One more time, horn. There it is.
Appreciate the 20, Chase. Yeah, man. We love the viewers. We love our audience here. Like, everybody's fun to talk to. It's always a good time getting on here and hanging out and talking football. The chat,
Yep.
like, we don't get to bring up what everybody says and everything, but I just read through the chat a lot sometimes, and y'all make me laugh. Like, I have a good time. But definitely appreciate the support, Chase.
Why is everybody always giving me a hard time?
Put some legendaries in the chat for Chase, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Chase, appreciate you, brother.
Because
that 20
everybody's giving you a hard time because I think you're in control of that faulty horn.
I can't help it, man. Sometimes it's not even really the horn. I tell you what it is. It's this program we use.
The horn has hiccups, Brian.
You think as much as we pay to use this stupid stream program, it'd be good, but
look, I want to do the horn real quick. I just got to test something. Is it the horn or is it Mike? Are we ready? Quit cheating. Quit cheating.
do
Mike.
nothing?
Mike clicked it twice.
no, it's my fault.
Look, put your hands up like this. Both of them. Keep them there. Let's see how this works. Let's try it one. Maybe put them back up. We got to try it one more time. Maybe that was a fluke. That was a fluke. It's Mike. It's the operator. It's not the horn. Don't blame the horn.
That one always works.
That's awesome.
Dude, I don't know.
Maybe we should just start using this one every time somebody does something.
What in the hell?
Thank you, baby.
We got one like when people get horned up. I don't remember where it is. Here it is. That's for the
Oh, no.
That's for all the horned up ones.
That's awesome.
Dude, I don't know. It's been wild. I'm ready to get into the draft, but I'm gonna miss it.
Are you mentally prepared to live stream a whole draft?
Oh yeah. Steve, I live for this moment. I can recite everybody's grandparents' names.
You knew that, let's see, pick a player. You knew that Johnny Newton wore a size 7 in husky pants when he was 6 years old.
Johnny Newton, baby.
He wore
You know
the
what
Huskies.
I don't have on Johnny Newton, though? I don't have any of his pro day numbers. I haven't been able to find them. A lot of these guys' pro days numbers are under wraps, big time. Like
He's one of those players that popped off the tape to me. And by
You
pop
know-
off the tape, I don't mean just flashy. I don't mean
Yeah.
that. I just mean, like, to me, when I'm watching them, they get like,
You're right. Johnny took over games.
yeah, dude.
And Illinois stinks, man. It's not like their offense was doing anything, but he was keeping them in games.
That's a guy that if he's at 32 and we don't take him, I would be a little bit questioning that. I would
like
upset.
to see Johnny Newton
I'd
at
be
32.
upset.
Look, I would team him up with Chris Jones. Why not?
Exactly, man. But, you know, we said that about Kalijah Cansey last year, and, of course, he went too early to see if Brett Veach would have bit on that, right? But, like,
Yep.
I don't know. To me, that would be a bad miss.
Right. Kevin says, do we look for a tight end in day 3?
Possibly.
It's possible. Steve, do you got any tight ends you like that's day
Day
3
3?
worthy? I think you could. I think most tight ends are going to be there in day 3, to be honest.
Most of them, you think?
I think Brock
You
Bowers
know-
goes round 1. I think Jatavion Sanders is probably there in 2 or 3. Sennett's 2 and 3. I think Cade Stover could be there round 4.
I think Theo Johnson could slip to 4.
Tanner McLaughlin, don't know where he's going to go.
Dallin Holker.
Dude, there's a lot of they're all like just a lot of flex H-backs. It's so weird. Such a weird tight end class, in my opinion.
What is day 3, 4 through 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Theo could fall down that far. And if he does, with his athletic ability, because his production stunk, right? He didn't do a whole lot at Penn State, and at times he seemed a little clunky on tape. But I still think with his athletic ability, like the ceiling he has, he could definitely be a day 3 player for the
I think
Chiefs.
my favorite day 3 tight end, again, the Chiefs have talked to Eric All. I kind of liked Eric All. He's got a lot of injuries. If you take him out of it, since the Chiefs don't run fullback a lot, right? I think if you don't get Ben Sinnott, because maybe he goes a little early, I wouldn't be opposed to, say, Dallin Holker or Jaheim Bell. Jaheim Bell's weird.
Yeah,
but they both in this offense could be some.
He's also
passing
rising up the
threats.
boards a little bit.
Which one?
Bell.
Yeah, I think people are starting to catch on. But
Chiefer says maybe invite a few people to join y'all for cameos. So I was actually thinking about that, Mike. If we're going to live stream the entire draft, I thought about just taking the link and going on X and finding different people in the Chiefs space or whatever, or in draft space, and just send them the link and be like, hey, do you want to come on? If you want to come on for, 15, 20 minutes, here's the link. Just jump in whenever. And just see what surprise people we get stopping in during the draft.
Right.
Now, we can't have them sticking around for the whole show. We don't need anybody lingering. But we'll cap them at like 30 minutes.
You say, hey, thanks for being here. Get out
No matter how good you are, even if it's Patrick Mahomes, at 30 minutes, bro, I'm sorry.
Pat can stay, I think.
Oh, yeah, Pat can stay. He wins. He can stay. That's the only person that could stay.
You think maybe we could get Brittany on here for some draft content?
No, probably not.
Taylor Swift? Do you think Taylor could get on here?
Maybe. She put out a new album. She can come promote it on All Chiefed Up.
What's it called? Like Dead Poet Society or something weird?
I don't know.
Have you heard it yet?
I listened to one song.
Anything about Kelsey on there?
I listened to one song.
Which one?
Because Post Malone was featured. And did you know now, apparently when you feature a person, they don't do anything but sing backup vocals. Like you don't even hear them. Because I was very disappointed.
Post?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
He wasn't featured. He was on there somewhere, but he wasn't featured.
I'm excited to hear Post's new song with Morgan Wallen. That's going to be a banger.
Anything Posty does is a banger, right?
Yeah, anything Morgan does is a banger too.
Jennifer says it's the Tortured Poet Society. So dramatic.
I know, she's dramatic.
She's a tortured poet. I think the first thing she said in the song that I listened to was that she's a functioning alcoholic. If that's not over dramatic, I don't know what is.
Maybe she was. The last guy she dated was kind of a douche.
Which one?
I don't remember what his name was. He was an actor or something, I believe. It wasn't very like well known. Like I didn't even really know who he was. Like they kept it under wraps pretty good. It was after John Mayer and all them. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you, man.
Yep. We'll just have to randomly.
I'm sure. How many different people you think is going to be streaming?
Everybody
and their grandma's going to be streaming that night, probably.
Oh, for sure. Of course they will.
Yeah, they're not going to be as knowledgeable as old Mike, though. I tell you.
If you want the real deal,
if you want to know what the dude scored on his SAT, come here. If you want to know what size shoe he wears, come here. If you want to know what Kyler Murray's girlfriend looks like, do not come here. I can't find it.
It's going to be a fun thing, though, I think. I think everybody will be streaming the draft, right? Like everybody. Like, especially in the Chiefs space.
I'm sure
everybody's
sure RGR will stream it. I'm sure Casey Sports Network will stream it. I bet I know who won't. Scrambling Armchair. He don't stream.
There you go.
I don't think. Let's get him on.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I want to.
Let's reveal Scrambling Armchair's face to the world.
I revealed his name on accident on
Why did you do it?
Show.
Steve, that's our goal, is to get Scrambling Armchair on here to talk draft and reveal the face to the world.
Adrian? Name is Adrian Fort or something like that?
Fortnite?
Adrian Fort, I think. I can't remember. I might have to go back and watch that.
Face reveal, Scrambling Armchair. If that doesn't get award-winning ratings, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I would say RGR probably stream. I don't know if they'll stream the whole thing. Jennifer saying Cole will be stream. Yeah, Cole streams everything. He'll be streaming.
Yeah, Cole's streaming, baby.
He ain't missing an opportunity.
Cole is a streamer.
Let's see.
Cole needs to come on here. What is Cole doing? We were supposed to do some kind of draft content with Cole. We've all talked about it. For some reason, didn't do it. We're 1 week away. We just all decided, hey, not going to do it. I think everybody's just busy.
About each other.
A busy time of the year, dude. To be honest, there's nothing going on. But it feels busy, does it not?
It's been busy. Brian Parrott, who are you talking about? $5. He shows up in Kiss makeup.
Ooh. Who? Oh, Scrambling?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be kick ass. Dude, that's Steve, we're messaging Scrambling tonight. We're asking him if he'll come on. What round? You want to go round 1, or do you think maybe day 3 kind of stuff just to keep people involved? Day 3, it goes a little fast and furious.
I think we should, like I said, just throw the link out every day to a handful of people, and just whoever wants to show up, you get 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we could get like Cole, because like if he's going to stream, he's not coming on.
Right.
That means you're not going to get like Dan Harms. You're not going to get,
I wish we could combine.
We couldn't get Ryan.
I don't know if that's a possibility on YouTube, but it'd be cool if we could combine our live stream with Cole's live stream to where we're streaming live on both channels.
But we could come in and out of each other's thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe I should be in charge of YouTube sometimes. You think? I have good ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny's making his rounds, ain't he? We had
Yeah,
Dan
Dan's
on.
everywhere.
Dan's been on Kingdom Cast. Dan was on Spoken today.
Was he?
Yeah.
Dan, he was on dude, Dan was doing a show with a whole nother fan base the other day. The Patriots. He was doing a show with the Patriots. They were like, we're bringing on Dan Harms to talk about who the Patriots are going to take. And I was like, okay. Dan was just writing us on Twitter earlier. Did you see that, Steve?
No.
He was writing us on Twitter asking us about the Alkaline Trio. We got him very intrigued with the trio. I didn't know Dan liked the Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's funny, man.
Yeah, that'll be a good time, though. I think it'll be fun. We'll come up with some good ideas for the draft stuff, for the draft stream. It'll be fun. Also, members only live stream. We kind
We'll
of
probably do that this week, right?
It's got to be this week. We've been so busy. We haven't been able to get the April one done. It's got to get done this week, and then we'll try to get back to doing the first week of every month in March.
So look, here's what we'll do.
Back to back action.
Let's shoot for like Tuesday. Members only. Wednesday we'll do our normal stream, and then Thursday's gonna be the draft, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll just be streaming all freaking week, it looks like, but I think that's what you gotta do. Whatever. Well, what are we doing Monday?
Well, let's just live stream.
What are we doing tomorrow? Let's just live stream.
Yeah, it'd be good though. We'll come up with some good ideas. We'll make it fun. It'll be good. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited for it. Well, you know what'll be fun is like we had talked about the chat making their own like mock draft, even if it's just Chiefs players, like Chiefs picks. Like we won't say any trades. We'll just take the Chiefs picks, and the chat can vote and see who they think they'll take in each round. And then we give our predictions because we always do, and we'll see who hits more, us or the chat. That'd be fun.
Yeah. For the members only?
Sure.
Or everybody?
Members only.
Maybe we'll do that. We could just do that Wednesday night. That might be fun. The day before the draft, we'll let the chat pick a mock draft.
And we'll just we'll put it to test against ours. We'll see how it goes.
They're probably
That'd
smarter.
Probably. Pop says Coleman and Burton have first round talent but third round traits. I don't know about Coleman. I think Burton definitely. What makes you think Coleman's traits are third round?
I don't think neither one of them has third round traits.
Well, I think Burton's character issues is what's knocked him down. I think Jermaine Burton's got first round talent written all over him.
Jermaine
Burton have that attitude, bro.
Jermaine Burton out of my 6 categories scores elite in 4 out of the 6.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's great in the other 2. So
he's
also got a Chiefs, 0 drop rate. I don't know. I think Jermaine Burton's got first round talent.
I would love to see the Chiefs grab him if he falls.
I think he's going to be a guy that is going to be there on like day 4.
Dude, if he's there on day 4, that is absolutely.
I don't mean day 4.
Steal.
I meant round 4. There is no day 4.
I know you meant round 4. I know what you meant. But no,
he's there
if you
on
get
Monday
him,
morning.
If you get him in round 4, that's an absolute steal, dude.
Right. Dude, it could happen though with him being taken off boards. But like I said,
what they report, like 10 teams had taken him off their board,
something like
just
that.
Off character concerns.
4.45 40, a 1.53 10-yard split, and a 38.5-inch vertical with a 56% contested catch rate and 0 drops in 2023. Yeah. What? How does that talent? I mean,
Chief Kelsey, Do they?
I don't know, man. It's wild.
Does it work like I said? Like, can they both be live streaming the same pod on both channels?
I don't know how that.
That's what I want to know.
What if? Okay, so look. What if we stream, and then Cole just comes on as a guest, but then Cole is also streaming, and he just puts us on as a guest, so we're just on each other's thing, but we're actually
both
on
live
each
streaming the
other's
whole
camera.
time. That would be nice. I don't know if that's possible, but I feel like it should be. It might be a feature on YouTube. Who knows?
Could be.
Maybe.
We'll have to figure it out, man.
We're not hip to the YouTube stuff. We're
Let's
too
be
old.
honest.
We're too old to be in this
Hey,
game,
let's
bro.
be honest. YouTube hates us. If it probably is a feature, and we're just not allowed to have it,
They took it away.
dude. Steve, come on, give me a few draft names you're pumped about. You said you were thinking.
Jermaine Burton's one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I think
I like
that he's
Jermaine
falling down
Burton.
boards, and I think he's
kinda
first
knew
round
you liked
talent.
that
I
one.
do.
Yeah.
Obviously Joshua Cephas. We talked about him.
Okay, I got a
1%
fun one.
drop rate.
I got a fun one. Instead of you just coming up with names off your head, let me go through and just give you random names, and you give me a thumbs up if you think you would like the Chiefs, or a thumbs down if you think that you wouldn't be enthralled with the pick. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Brendan Rice at pick 64. Second round.
I don't like it at 64.
Oh, I wasn't watching the screen, so I didn't see you doing that. Sorry.
I do like Brendan Rice, and I do.
But
think
you just
that
don't like him at 64.
I feel like he's one of those guys. If you can get him later than 64, then by all means. But before that, I don't really care that much.
Okay.
But I also, at the same time, I do think Brendan Rice could surprise some people. So it's iffy.
Okay. Trade up in round 2. Let's just say we trade up to pick 55. Roman Wilson, wide receiver. Oh,
Like it. I'll take it.
thumbs up. So you like a trade up. So you
If
like
it's just I would preferably, if I were taking Roman Wilson, I'd take him at 64.
Right.
But if they thought that they could really use him and they need to go up a
so
few
you
picks,
like
let's do
Roman
it.
at 55 and you don't like Brendan at 64. So you're about 20 spots higher on Roman. That's about right, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. What
Okay,
else we
one
got?
more wide receiver and we'll move on to a different position. Let me find a good one. Anthony Gold, one of our round 5 picks.
Depends on the first 4 picks.
We haven't even taken a wide receiver yet.
Bang.
Yeah, you have to like it, I guess.
If we already took a receiver, then I'm kind of eh.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Will Shipley in the 4th round, running back, to replace Jerick McKinnon.
4th round.
Yeah. Like pick 130-ish, somewhere in that range. Ooh. Not a Shipley guy, or is it just too early? That's day 3, Steve. Round 4 is day 3.
I guess I'm not a Shipley guy that much. He's okay. But I feel like if you're waiting until the 4th round, if he's there in the 4th round, that's good value for Shipley, I suppose. But at the same time, like, I feel like if Shipley's there, there's better people there too.
I think he's like an Austin Eckler type row. That's the kind of row he'll have
I
to
would rather have Ray Davis from Kentucky.
Yeah. I like Ray Davis, but
Yeah.
okay. Let's see. Let me name a few more here. Let me get some spicy ones.
Spicy.
Let me get some spicy. Tavondre Sweat with his DWI pick 90 in round 3. Like round 3. Do you like him at 64? That's essentially a round 3 pick.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I think the Chiefs could take a shot there if he's there because they know he might not get there at the end of the 3rd.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
That's a value pick. You got a guy falling because of a character concern. That's Chiefs MO, right?
Right.
Look what we're dealing with Rashee Rice.
Right. Let's do a few more. Wow. Let's say
What you got for me there, buddy?
TJ Tampa. Let's go TJ Tampa. They trade up in round 2, take him at like 50-ish.
That's good value for TJ Tampa.
But would you be excited we traded up for a corner?
No. Yeah, I'm gonna
That's why I kind of had the...
I'm going to kind of keep this right here.
Right. Okay.
Like, I can't say, nah, but I can't say, yeah.
Okay.
Blah. Just say blah.
Last one. Quantez Stiggers, round 3. Corner from the Toronto Argonauts, CFL.
Too high.
Woo! I love Stiggers. He's a my
Too
guy
high.
for sure.
Round 3?
You got to think about it though. Round 3, you might not get him in round 4. We pick so late. These are basically our 1's a 2. Our 2's
Give me
a 3.
another one. That one's too easy. That's way too early for him.
No way. He
Yeah.
could go in round 4 easily.
You said round 3.
We're the dead last pick.
Yeah, I know, but
So
still.
you have to take him if you want him. Okay.
One more. And while we're doing this, y'all go hit the like button. Go give us a thumbs up real quick. Help your boys out.
Right.
Let's see what I do here.
Trevin Wallace, linebacker from Kentucky, round 4.
Boom. I'll take him.
Okay.
I think his ceiling's high. See, 3rd round though. I'm with Jay. I don't know about UDFA, but 3rd round, bro. What?
Y'all sleeping on him.
We sleeping on him?
Look, Stiggers is a guy with perfect size. He plays a rookie season in the CFL against high-level competition, better than most colleges. He wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, 55 tackles, 5 picks. And you don't think he's going to be talked about in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round?
3rd, I don't know.
I say 3rd, though, because it's 90-something. We're not
I
picking
get
like
it.
150 or something after that. So, presumably, I think he goes right around that 130 to 160 mark. So, he may not be there at 150. That's why I said 3. I got to make you think. I can't say, you want Stiggers in round 7? Well, that's an obvious this.
Well, you said 4. That would have made me think. 3 didn't make me think. I don't know.
I think Stiggers
Would
is
it
gonna
surprise
some
me?
people.
I didn't think that the Chiefs. I didn't have Chamari Connor on my radar as early as they took him. So I mean, it's not out of the question. But that turned out to be an excellent pick.
Right. Chamari Connor. He went way higher than people thought.
Yeah.
Brian Cook. Nobody thought Brian Cook was going to be a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, that one threw me
They
for a loop.
always jump on
Yeah.
corners and safeties earlier than you think because they're graded differently than people think. Consensus don't usually win out. I think there's going to be some surprise corners. I bet you a lot of people haven't even heard of some of these guys. I think you're going to get Show Smith Wade out of Washington State. I think he's going to be around a 4th, 5th round pick. I think he's going to surprise people. I think Elijah Jones out of Boston College is going to surprise some people. Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, I think, is going to surprise some people. Ryan Watts out of Texas has got good size. Pittsburgh's got 2, MJ Devonshire and AJ Woods, that both can blaze. Marcellus Dial from South Carolina. Nobody even threw towards him, and I think he's going to go. There's just a lot. Miles Harden out of South Dakota. He stinks in his metrics, but when you watch him on film, I think he could be a nice nickelback. And I'm not talking about Chad Kroger's guitarist either. I'm talking about he's going to be a heck of a nickelback, I believe. I think he could start getting looks in round 4 and 5, man. Something about corners. They sneak up a little quick on you.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up for the night. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Saturday night. Been a lot of fun. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hang out with us more often. We'll be back for live streaming this week. We'll do our members only this week. We'll also have our normal live stream on Wednesday. And then, of course, we're going to be streaming the entire draft. So make sure to make your put us in your plans for next week at some point. Right. Pencil us in.
Yeah, you can just drop in, say hey.
Just ACU.
I'm sure everybody's got
next
to
week.
make the rounds, you know. It's got to be, we go here and here and here. Got to go see my family. I don't know what you do.
Well, here's the best draft coverage right here on All Chiefed Up. So
Get it.
that's where you need to be at. But we appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.